So why is everyone suddenly talking about creatine again, especially for people over 50? Let me shock you, creatine isn't new. It first exploded onto the scene in the early 1990s, and by the 1992 Barcelona Olympics, athletes were already secretly using it to gain an edge. By 1993, it hit the market, and within just a few years, it became one of the top-selling sports supplements worldwide. What started as an underground performance enhancer quickly turned into a household name. By the late 90s, Bill Phillips and his groundbreaking Body for Life program took creatine from hardcore bodybuilding gyms straight into mainstream living rooms. His company, EAS, introduced one of the first creatine products in America. His best-selling book and transformation challenges, with jaw-dropping before and after photos, made creatine synonymous with strength, energy, and physical change. Suddenly, it wasn't just elite athletes or bodybuilders using it. It was ordinary men, women, and even dads in their 50s looking for results. By the end of the decade, creatine had become a $200 million industry in the US alone. But here's where it gets interesting. Back then, creatine was mostly seen as a sports supplement. Fast forward to today, and the conversation has completely shifted. Now, researchers are studying creatine not only for athletes, but also for older adults, for people in rehabilitation, and even for brain and heart health. There have been more than 680 clinical trials on creatine, most of them on creatine monohydrate, looking at everything from muscle strength to cognitive function to cardiac performance. And the results are catching attention worldwide. So here's the reality. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or even your 70s, creatine is no longer just about bigger muscles in the gym. It's about protecting your independence, your strength, and even your brain as you age. And according to an ER doctor, a weight management physician, and yes, someone who takes creatine myself, I can tell you this is one supplement worth paying attention to. But let's clear up the biggest myth right now. Creatine is not a steroid. Your body actually makes creatine on its own and stores it in your muscles and brain to help recycle energy. The supplement version, creatine monohydrate, simply tops up those natural stores. And here's the science in simple terms. Your cells run on a battery called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. When you burn energy, ATP gets used up and becomes ADP. To recharge the battery, your body needs another phosphate. That's where creatine steps in, like a fast charger, donating phosphate and turning ADP back into ATP, instantly refueling your muscle and brain energy. Now, why should you care about this after 50? Because starting around age 40, everyone begins losing muscle mass and strength, a condition called sarcopenia. Some lose it slowly, others rapidly, but no one escapes it. Muscle loss doesn't just mean smaller biceps. It means weakness, frailty, falls, injuries, and eventually loss of independence. It's why even legends like Arnold Schwarzenegger don't look like they did in their prime. And unless you fight it, it happens to you too. The good news? Creatine is one of the simplest, safest, and most effective tools we have to slow that decline. And in the next part, I'll break down exactly how creatine works in older adults, the pros, the cons, and why doctors like me are finally calling it one of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on the planet. When creatine is paired with resistance training, the results are powerful. Clinical trials in adults ranging from their 50s to even their 80s consistently show gains in lean muscle, strength, and physical function. But let's be clear, creatine is not a magic pill. It only works if you put in the work. If you just take creatine and sit on the couch, you won't see the benefits. Pair it with consistent weight training, and that's when the magic happens. But the story doesn't stop at muscle. Researchers are uncovering benefits that reach far beyond the gym. Some studies show small but measurable improvements in memory and processing speed, especially in women and in people who don't get creatine from their diets, like vegetarians or vegans. For the heart, creatine may also play a role. Patients with heart failure often have lower levels of creatine in their heart muscle. Supplementation in these patients has shown promise, improving exercise tolerance, reducing fatigue, and even supporting cardiac rehabilitation. And then there's the brain. Creatine acts as an energy stabilizer for brain cells, and studies suggest it has neuroprotective effects. Early evidence points to possible benefits in recovery after traumatic brain injury, as well as improved attention, memory, and processing speed. Some research even suggests creatine could support resilience under stress and may play a role in protecting against neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's. The science is still developing, but the potential here is huge. Now, what about safety? For most healthy adults, creatine is considered one of the safest supplements available. The main issue is that your body converts creatine into creatinine, which is something doctors monitor when they check kidney function. This can make lab tests look abnormal, even if your kidneys are perfectly fine. That's why it's important to tell your doctor if you're taking creatine, so they can interpret your lab results accurately. If you already have kidney disease, high blood pressure, or diabetes, or if you're taking multiple medications, it's smart to talk to your doctor first before starting creatine. And for those who are healthy, side effects are usually minor. Occasionally, some people notice stomach upset if they take too much at once, or a bit of water retention in the muscles. Rarely, cramping is reported, but that's usually fixed by staying properly hydrated. From my experience in the ER, I don't see creatine emergencies. What I do see is kidney strain in patients who are already sick, dehydrated, or on multiple medications. That's why if you're dealing with an illness that involves vomiting, diarrhea, or fever, it's wise to pause creatine until you recover. From a weight management perspective, some patients panic when the scale jumps up a few pounds. But that's usually water weight, not fat. Over the long run, creatine actually helps preserve muscle during weight loss, which is exactly what you want. So, who should think about creatine? If you're in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, and you're doing resistance training, creatine is worth serious consideration. If you're vegetarian or vegan and don't get creatine from meat or fish, it may be even more valuable. And if you're trying to lose weight while maintaining muscle, creatine can give you a real advantage. The bottom line, creatine is safe, affordable, and effective for most healthy older adults. It works best when combined with strength training and adequate protein intake. But remember, always check with your doctor first, especially if you have existing health conditions. So, is creatine worth it after 50? In my professional and personal opinion, absolutely yes. The research is expanding every year, and we're only beginning to uncover the full range of benefits. Think of creatine as a powerful tool to support your muscle, your brain, your heart, and your independence as you age. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, I share science-backed health strategies to help men and women over 40 stay strong, sharp, and confident. And don't keep this to yourself. Share this with a friend or family member who could benefit from learning the truth about creatine. Remember, aging doesn't mean weakness, decline, or slowing down. With the right knowledge, it can be the beginning of a stronger, more empowered chapter of life. Stay strong, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.